On the last video, I showed you the fastest selling EVs in America. Today, we visit the other side of the lot. The EVs nobody is buying. And I mean nobody. One vehicle on this list sold exactly 36 units in 3 entire months. Not 36,000, 36. Another dropped 88%. One is a 6-figure monster the market suddenly stopped wanting, and one is being quietly killed off by its own maker while customers still want it. Some of these deserve it, some absolutely do not. Today on Nick's Car Review, I'm counting down the 8 EVs nobody is buying right now, and which ones might secretly be the smartest deals on the market because of it. Let's get into it. Kicking off the list at number 8 is the strangest flop of the quarter, a slow seller wearing a bestseller's badge. The Toyota BZ Woodland. The standard BZ has been one of the biggest success stories of the year, moving more than 17,500 units in the first half, and briefly becoming America's best-selling non-Tesla EV. The Woodland, the rugged, outdoorsy, adventure-trimmed version of that exact same car sold 554 units in Q2. So what happened? The Woodland is a lesson in reading the market wrong. Toyota dressed the BZ in body cladding, roof rails, and a lifted stance to chase the overlanding crowd and priced it thousands above the standard car. But the people buying the BZ are not buying it for adventure fantasies. They are buying it because it is a trustworthy electric appliance at a bargain price, 300 plus miles of range, $7,000 in discounts, 0% financing, and a Toyota badge. The moment you add cost without adding range or capability that matters, the value equation that made the BZ a hit collapses. The takeaway for buyers is simple. If you love the Woodland look, dealers are going to be very motivated to move these. But if you are cross-shopping, the standard BZ delivers everything that matters for less. Sometimes a flop is just a good car wearing an expensive costume. Number 7 is the 9,000-pound statement America stopped making, the GMC Hummer EV. Sales of the pickup and SUV together slid roughly 56% year over year in Q2, one of the steepest declines of any established EV nameplate this quarter. The Hummer EV was built for a different market than the one we have now. When money was cheap and the tax credit was alive, enough buyers lined up to pay 6 figures for 1,000 horsepower, crab walking, moonshot of a truck, but strip away the credit, push gas prices past $4 a gallon, and put value at the center of every buying decision. And suddenly, a vehicle whose battery alone weighs as much as a compact car becomes the first thing shoppers cross off the list. GM has been cutting production across its EV lineup, and the Hummer took one of the deepest cuts. There is a bigger story underneath. The entire electric truck experiment is retreating. The F-150 Lightning is discontinued, Ram canceled its electric pickup before launch, and Cybertruck demand has cooled dramatically. The Hummer EV surviving at half volume makes it one of the last big electric trucks standing. But the era of automakers betting billions on $100,000 electric monsters is closing. If you ever wanted one, remaining inventory discounts are getting serious. Just understand you are buying a monument to a market moment that has passed. Number 6 is the flop that makes no sense until you hear the full story, the Chevrolet Bolt. America's cheapest new EV sold just 3,433 units in Q2, with barely 4,200 moved all year. For a brand new vehicle starting under $29,000 with 255 miles of range, an LFP battery you can charge to 100% daily, and a native NACS port with Tesla supercharger, access those numbers look impossible. Cheap EVs are supposed to be what this market wants. And that is exactly the point. This is not a demand flop, it is a supply flop. GM is running a single production shift at the Fairfax plant in Kansas where the Bolt is built, throttling output to a trickle. Nearly every Bolt that gets built finds a buyer almost immediately. The car is not failing in showrooms. It is barely being allowed into them. And here is the part that stings. Reports indicate Bolt production is scheduled to end next year. GM appears to be treating the revived Bolt as a short bridge product rather than a long-term commitment, a placeholder until their next generation affordable EVs arrive. So America's cheapest electric car lands on the flop list, not because buyers rejected it, but because its own maker never gave it a real chance. If you want one, the window is closing faster than anyone expected. This is the rare flop I would tell you to hurry up and buy. Number 5 is the flop that cannot blame supply. The Chevrolet Blazer EV. Sales collapsed 68% year over year in Q2, the worst percentage drop of any volume GM product this quarter. Deeper than the Equinox, deeper than the Hummer, deeper than the Lyriq. The Blazer EV's problem is that it lost the argument inside its own showroom. Below it sits the Equinox EV with more range for thousands, less 319 miles, starting at $33,600. The best range per dollar in America. Above it sits the Cadillac Optiq, which offers a nicer cabin and a luxury badge for not much more than a loaded Blazer, and the Optiq grew 43% this quarter while the Blazer cratered. When buyers walk one aisle over and find better value in both directions from the same company, the middle child gets skipped. Then there is the reputation problem. The Blazer EV launched with software issues bad enough that GM halted sales entirely, and the electronic complaints have never fully gone away. Consumer Reports still ranks it among the least reliable EVs on sale. Slow sellers usually mean big discounts, and Blazer EV deals are out there, but this is the one flop on today's list where I would think hard before taking the bait. A discount does not fix a reliability record. Number 4 is a flagship dying with dignity. The BMW iX. BMW moved just 1,657 of them as the company phases the iX out of the American market. A quiet ending for what was once the boldest statement in BMW's electric lineup. To be fair to the iX, this is a planned sunset rather than a rejection. BMW's next generation has arrived. The new iX3 launches this year on the Neue Klasse platform with 400 kilowatt charging and over 400 miles of range, and the just revealed iX5 follows with a 144 kilowatt hour battery, 435 miles of range, and production starting in South Carolina. Against hardware like that, the aging iX with its polarizing grille and older architecture simply ran out of tomorrow. Buyers know the better BMW is months away, so they are waiting and the iX is starving in the meantime. But there is a genuine opportunity hiding in this flop. The iX remains one of the most comfortable, best-built luxury EVs of its generation, with strong reliability scores and a hushed, beautifully finished cabin. Dealers clearing out the last of them are dealing aggressively, and depreciation on outgoing generations always cuts deepest right at the changeover. If you care about comfort more than having the newest platform, the iX's funeral sale might be the best luxury EV bargain of the year. Number 3 is not one vehicle, it is an entire company's electric portfolio. The Stellantis EVs, the Fiat 500e, the Jeep Wagoneer S, the Dodge Charger Daytona. Across every brand under the Stellantis umbrella, Q2 EV sales in America were minimal, not declining minimal. The 500e barely registers on sales charts. The Wagoneer S has posted some of the worst numbers of any new EV launch in recent memory. And the Charger Daytona needs discounts of $15,000 to $20,000 off sticker just to leave dealer lots. The collapse traces straight to the top. Stellantis took the largest EV write-down in industry history. $27 billion abandoned its all-electric targets, forced out its CEO, and canceled programs across Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, and Ram. When a company publicly retreats from its own electric strategy, buyers hear the message loud and clear. Do not bet your money on a vehicle the maker itself has given up on. Resale values, software support, and long-term parts availability all become question marks, and question marks do not sell cars. The tragedy is that some of these are interesting vehicles at the fire sale prices they now command. But of everything on today's list, these carry the most risk per dollar saved. A discount only helps if the company behind the warranty stays committed. Number 2, posted the single steepest percentage collapse of the quarter. The Ford E-Transit. 293 vans sold in Q2, down 88% from a year ago. For context, The E-Transit was once the best-selling electric van in America, the darling of fleet electrification headlines. So what happened? Commercial buyers are the most rational customers on earth. They buy on spreadsheet, math, nothing else. When the federal incentives died, the math died with them. Fleet managers, who once ordered electric vans by the hundreds to hit sustainability targets at subsidized prices, went right back to gas transits, which cost less upfront and refuel anywhere. Add Ford's broader EV retreat, $19 billion in losses. The Lightning discontinued. Everything waiting on next year's new platform, and the E-Transit simply fell off corporate shopping lists. The E-Transit's collapse is the purest proof of what this whole market has become. Passenger EV buyers can fall in love with a car. Fleet buyers cannot. And when the spreadsheet says no, an 88% drop is what it looks like. And the EV nobody in America is buying the #1 flop of the quarter is the Nissan Ariya. 36 units, 3 months, an entire country. That is one Ariya sold roughly every 2.5 days across all 50 states. The context: Nissan stopped importing the Ariya for the 2026 model year. So those 36 sales are the last crumbs of leftover inventory. But that only sharpens the story, because the Ariya never got the ending it deserved to fight for. It was a decent electric crossover with a legitimately upscale interior undone by import tariffs that wrecked its pricing, mediocre efficiency, no one-pedal driving, and a badge that never convinced EV shoppers. It arrived late, cost too much, and left quietly. 36 units is not a sales figure, it is a tombstone. Before the takeaway, one vehicle needs defending. The Nissan Leaf sold barely 1,000 units in Q2 flop numbers on paper. But this is not a flop. It is a hostage situation. The redesigned Leaf is one of the best value EVs in America. Over 300 miles of range for under $30,000. And Nissan has capped imports at roughly 500 cars a month over tariff costs, while fighting battery shortages on top. Demand is there, the cars are not. If you find one on a lot, that scarcity is the only thing wrong with it. So what do 8 flops teach us? That a bad sales number has at least 3 different meanings. Some of these failed on merit: the Blazer EV's reliability record, the Ariya's pricing, an entire company retreating from its own strategy. Some fail by circumstance: the Bolt and the Leaf are good cars, being starved by their own makers. And some simply outlived their moment: the Hummer's excess and the iX's aging platform in a market that moved on. For you as a buyer, the flop list is where the deepest discounts live. Just know which kind of flop you are looking at before you sign. A supply flop is a bargain. A merit flop is a warning. And the difference is worth thousands. I am Nick, this has been Nick's Car Review, and I will see you in the next one.